Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my elementary school comic book empire that me and my friend ran. It was awesome, and it was also very unsuccessful. So anyway guys, how are you doing today? I'm doing pretty well. Today we have some Overwatch gameplay, and I finally figured out how to get everything up and running for that. So, pretty cool. It's not the best quality, but I'm still kind of working on making it better and running at a higher frame rate. But this was the first time I've made it where it doesn't like heavily lag in the video, so I thought we'd use it this time. And it's a bit more action-packed than League of Legends gameplay. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about my, as I said in the beginning of the video, my elementary school comic book empire that I ran with my friend. And this isn't like some underground empire stuff that I'm talking about. No, it's nothing like that. Basically, we were 4th graders, and 4th graders, you know, you like to do 4th grade stuff. And we've been reading books in 4th grade. And a lot of it just comes from stuff, you know, you read in 4th grade. There was these books called, like, Captain Underpants or whatever. If any of you have heard of that, you're awesome. Those books are pretty funny when you were a kid. And the main characters in that books actually made their own comic books, which I think the character Captain Underpants was based off of, like, I guess he came to life or whatever. It was pretty weird. But anyway, that's what... like the whole point of the book was. But anyway, we made our own comic books of our own, to try and, I don't know, be cool and edgy. And we made a few startup comic books, which eventually gained a good amount of popularity in our class. So we decided to make our own comic book company. And I'm gonna go ahead and just start from the beginning here. So I was the new kid in 4th grade. I had just changed schools, and I was in this new public school in 4th grade, and you know, I didn't really have any friends yet. But then I met this this one guy who's really awesome. I'm gonna name him Bill, because I don't know if he wants to be named in this video. But Bill and I, we liked comic books and video games and stuff, so we became pretty good friends. And so we were, I don't know, it starts off kind of cringy, because like the first kind of stuff we made, there was also more than just Captain Underpants, which inspired us to make comic books. I'll totally be honest and say we were avid Club Penguin players. Like, if you would talk to us back in that day, we could answer any Club Penguin question you could ever want to ask. Like oh, how do you get the rare card deck in the ninjutsu? And we'd know how to answer that, because Club Penguin was the shit back in the day. Like, let's not lie. If you were a kid back in the 2000s, Club Penguin was the ultimate computer game. So we've been playing some Club Penguin, and they had comics in Club Penguin. Like, they'd always have this updatable they'd make like a weekly comic on the website page like every week, and I thought those were pretty cool. So we made Club Penguin comics first. That was like the first step in making comics, and those were really badly drawn, cringy. But what we thought was so cool about them is that we did stuff that Club Penguin would never do, because normally they did like weird stuff in their comic books. But we actually, what we did one time was we combined Club Penguin with Star Wars. So we have two really awesome things in 4th grade. Granted, I like Star Wars now, and I don't really like Club Penguin anymore. But yeah, we combined those two, and we made a whole series of comic books. And we actually redid episodes 1 through 6 in comic books. With Club Penguin characters. So, pretty cringy, I know, but I thought it was pretty cool. We all thought it was pretty cool. Like, whoa, look at this. We have the Club Penguin equivalent of Luke Skywalker swinging around his Club Penguin lightsaber. You wanna know what's funny is that, actually, at a later date, Disney purchased, I think we all know this, but Disney purchased Star Wars, and Disney actually owns Club Penguin, so they actually did a bunch of Club Penguin Star Wars related stuff later on down the road, but we did our stuff before Disney did it, so we were cool. They should have paid us for our awesome ideas, but anyway, this is what, we made a bunch of cool Club Penguin Star Wars comics, and those are by far some of my favorite stuff I made when I was a 4th grader. But then we got original. We made our own original comics later on down the road, and these ones are actually pretty cool because we had a whole bunch of different, like, not even joking, we had this thing in 4th grade, I think it was like Open Mic Friday or whatever, where you could make a story or something and then you could read it to the class. So me and my friend made a infomercial for our newest comic book brand, and our newest comic book brand also came with sets of trading cards, all of which were made on pieces of printer paper that were cut out and drawn on. But it was pretty cool. We had little card packs that we folded in and taped together, and yeah, we had the card packs, and you could buy the card packs for like, I think it was like 25 cents, and the comic was like 50 cents, and some of the comics came with cards. It was a cool system, not even gonna lie. I still think it's pretty cool to this day. But what was the point of that? Well, the point of that is we had, I don't even know what I'm saying now, but we had all these cool comic book stuff, and it was all pretty awesome. And so that comic was called The Cube of Hope. Now, The Cube of Hope was basically just stick figures in little comic boxes, and it was the most derpiest thing you'll ever hear. It was like, oh, look at these comic book guys. They're so we have the main character's name was Fred, and Fred was just this random average bloke, you know, just walking down the street, you know, drinking a Mountain Dew and a Slurpee or whatever, I don't even know. But Fred was just this average stick figure bloke guy, and he would just be walking on his way, and then he'd find this portal, and he'd walk through the portal and get into this other dimension and be like, whoa, a new dimension. And then I guess he'd fight some Goomba looking ass guys that we drew, and so he'd kill the Goombas, and then he'd find this cube called the Cube of Hope, and basically the whole point, the Cube of Hope wasn't some like legendary artifact or whatever. It was just, well, it kind of was, but the only reason Fred was going after it was because he found it, he like touched it or whatever, and then it disappeared. It's really weird. He's just like, the only reason, his motivation for getting the cube back, this is like some next level storytelling.
Hire me for an Oscar if you guys like, anyone at Hollywood, I could make this a story. We'll get a screenwriting Oscar right away.
Anyway, so his only motivation was to just make sure whoever owned the cube didn't get mad. But later on the line, he found a cloud, yes, a cloud, a sentient cloud called Helpino that wore a Santa hat. And Helpino was of the cloud race, and the cloud race was all about being clouds. And there was King Cloud, who's an evil cloud, basically the equivalent of Bowser in this world. And he was trying to use the Cube of Hope for his own gain. It's a pretty easy to follow, run-of-the-mill, simple, childish comic book story. But Fred makes it to the end, and they save the Cube of Hope, and that was the end of the original run of comic books. I think that we had like 3 or 4, it was like 3 or 4 issues, the complete story. So pretty short, but each one was like 4 or 5 double-sided pages each. They took a long time to make, and when we were at school, we didn't use a copier, so we actually we had to redraw each copy of each comic book. So that was pretty tough to do. But eventually I came home to my house and I just used my copier and copied it. But what was also cool was that the cards were little things you could collect. They didn't really there wasn't like a card game for them or anything, but you'd use the cards and you just do whatever you wanted with them. You could, like, I don't know, trade the cards, I guess. And we basically said in our infomercial that I talked about earlier, make up your own games. We don't have any games with them. But there was like, I think almost 50 different cards, and we had rarities for each of the different cards. It was pretty cool, and we both thought it was really cool. And we had different kinds of card packs. It was awesome. And eventually down the line, we both made our own different types of, my friend and I, Bill, we split up to make our own different kinds of comics on our own. So I made a few other comics. One of them was kind of Calvin and Hobbes inspired, minus the Hobbes, so terrible. But and then Jack made some other stuff. I think he made him about this piece of cheese that had a diarrhea or something. I don't even remember. But that's what that story was all about. And basically, one day we actually decided that we were going to sell our comic books, like lemonade style type, outside in our house, see if anyone wanted to buy them. And surprise, surprise, no one bought any of them.
Because they're garbage.
But anyway, that's basically it for the comic book story. If you guys enjoyed, I would appreciate it if you leave a like or anything. But other than that, hope you guys had a good day, and I'll see you next time.